For our last group performance this evening, again, I just want to thank you for coming out. Just a reminder, Prism tickets are on sale. Go to srhsband.com/prism and get your tickets. We're really excited to bring that back this year, and hope that we have really big crowds for our students to perform for. So please share that with your friends, with your family, and invite your coworkers and tell them to come out to Prism. I promise you that they won't be disappointed if they do. It's going to be a really great event. We're really looking forward to it. Our last group to perform is our wind ensemble. The first piece that we're going to play for you is a little different. So I just kind of wanted to tell you about it just a little bit. The piece is based off of a 1770s song that was composed for school children in a church setting for students to learn. It was composed in the time of the American Revolution, so the lyrics have a very pointed meaning. I'm just going to read the lyrics to you, one of the verses to you. Let tyrants shake their iron rod, and slavery clank her galling chains. We fear them not, we trust in God, and New England's God forever reigns. So the song is basically about how we don't like the British, which you can understand in the 1770s that's kind of the mindset. So it was originally written as a 4-part hymn to be sung in schools and churches for students, but it kind of got adopted by the Continental Army. And so you can hear this tune kind of have that progression throughout the piece. It's presented in 4 parts by the woodwinds and the brass, and then it gets very different very quickly. You can hear some militaristic elements, you can hear some marching of snare drums, and it being played like with the fife as the army was marching along. Lots of different kind of elements with this piece, but tied into a patriotic meaning. So our first piece is Chester, and would you please welcome the Sebastian High School Wind Ensemble. Wanted to tell you just a little bit more about this next piece before we play it. I definitely wanted to take a minute out of tonight's concert to recognize the healthcare workers and those people who have had such a really hard time the last 18 months and have put in so many hours to provide the medical care to so many members of our community, whether they've been dealing with COVID or just the regular day-to-day sicknesses that we still all dealt with. They've had such a hard time, and we really appreciate all the work that they've done. This next piece, Heal by Robert W. Smith, is dedicated to those heroes. I want to read the program note that he included with it. Heal is inspired by medical professionals that care for us in every community and city throughout the world. From the first responders to the doctors, nurses, technicians, and administrators, we depend on their expertise, kindness, compassion as we travel through the various stages of life. The composer writes, Heal was composed following my life's first major medical event. After 59 years of health, I was challenged with a life-threatening situation. In fact, had it not been for the quick and decisive action of my wife Susan and the medical professionals that cared for me, I would not be here today and this piece would not exist. During the ordeal, while slipping in and out of consciousness, I heard the voices of caring family, as well as first responders, nurses, and doctors, and medical technicians. Heal pays homage to those voices as I went from the precipice back to a healthy life of family, friends, music, and education. Heal is dedicated to Dr. Ben Smith, Dr. Wynn Crawford, and Dr. Juan Orozlo, as well as the first responders, nurses, and staff at medical facilities in Troy, Montgomery, Gadsden, and Birmingham, Alabama. I am eternally grateful. So we present this piece tonight, and we would like to dedicate this to all of those people who have been in that battle over the last 18 months. If you're any kind of medical worker or first responder, would you please stand so we could thank you for all the work that you've done over the last few weeks. Heal by Robert W. Smith. So as I mentioned earlier, we're very fortunate to work with some great colleagues, music colleagues and band directors here in the county. So we wanted to do something this year and invite some of our middle school directors over to work with some of their former students again. So we're very excited to have Mr. Sean Shrigley, who is the director of bands at Storm Grove Middle School, come join us tonight to conduct Stars and Stripes. So would you please welcome Mr. Sean Shrigley. I want to recognize a couple of people really quickly. Our associate directors, Mr. Paul Champion and Mr. Doug Moser, couldn't do what we do without them. They're vital to our success here and so appreciative of all their efforts to support our students. So, round of applause for Mr. Champion. Our final piece this evening, we would like to recognize and thank all of those who have served in our armed forces over the years. We're going to play a hymn of all 5 service tunes. So we ask once we get to your hymn, if you served in that branch, if you would please stand so we can recognize you. We again thank you for coming out tonight, and here is an Armed Forces salute. States Army. United States Marines. States Navy. States Coast Guard. States Air Force.